Yep.
Okay.
That's a loaded question.
Is that how you act like you're cooking?
I'm kind of talking myself through this. It's very cold.
Well, we're getting written $130 ticket right now by this guy.
We'll see how he's been feeling for the past couple hours. You look terrified. Our bus got stuck in the sand.
We're super stuck in the sand right now. So we're gonna try and dig it out a little bit. It's about 5 in the morning and I'm walking across the Golden Gate Bridge right now because I want to get some pictures.
Shut up and sit down.
You're this peace, love, dope person and you want to ruin my house.
I'm okay with it, believe me. I don't want to ruin your house. I don't want to ruin your
Well,
house.
then move it. You may kiss your bride.
So for 15 years, I waited tables or bartended or was a slave of the service industry in one way or another. I first went to school for business management, realized that was not the answer. And then I went back to school in 2007 for photography, went to the Art Institute of Washington. While I was there, I still had to maintain a full-time job serving tables in Georgetown while I went to school, which was probably the most hectic, crazy time of my life. But, you know, at that point, I thought I was doing it. I thought that's what was going to get me there. I thought that was what the answer was. It wasn't until, I guess, about 10 years later, I was waiting tables in Boulder, Colorado, that I realized that the first thing I needed to do in order to live my dream was to lower my overhead. So it was making me a slave to the restaurant I worked at. I had to pick up those shifts. Even when I didn't work, I had to work at the end of the month to make ends meet. I started doing some research, hopefully just like you guys are, looking on YouTube at different people and how alternative living is probably going to be the answer for me to get rid of my rent. And it took me straight to bus life. As soon as I sort of found out about bus life, as soon as I found out that this is something I could do, or van life really, I immediately just felt right. I knew I was on the right path and all the pieces just fell right into place.
We just stopped right outside of Golden. We're about to take I-70, which goes straight up into the mountains past Vail and Glenwood Springs and all that good stuff. So our goal is to get to Vail, depending on how quickly or long it takes. It's only an hour and a half away. So maybe we'll go past Vail.
Hour and a half car driving. Like,
yeah.
You have to consider that when you look on Google Maps or whatever, it says an hour and a half and you gotta think, I never go the speed limit. Never. I'm always at least 10 under. So,
yeah, we have a governor on our...
yeah, at 65. There's a governor on the engine, so I can never go past 65. And if you've ever driven out here, the speed limit's 75 in a lot of places.
Unless going up mountains.
I don't like to even go 65. Yeah, that's what I want to talk to you guys about before we do this trek. This is kind of like the real test right now. This is going to be the hardest part on the bus, probably in the whole trip, is going to be this next leg, the first day, just getting over the Rocky Mountains. If you've ever driven in Colorado over the Rockies, then you know what I mean. It's not just going up and down hills that's gnarly and bad on the engine, but it's the thin air. The engine's not getting a ton of air, so I've been running with the hazards on for quite a while. I'm only going 40 in a 65, so.
For me, bus life was never about living off grid or living alternatively, you know, all these things that I was interested in before living in a bus, but have now become passionate about. It was never those things that drove me to buy a school bus and turn it into my house. It was the fact that I wanted my time back. I wanted to be able to shape my time each day. I didn't want an employer to always control what I was able to do. You know, Chad and I were talking about this earlier. If you've ever felt like, you know, you can't do something earlier in the day because you have to work at night, or, you know, you work during the day so you can't do what you love at night because you're exhausted. If you feel like you're in that tug and pull where it's like, I'm never really getting the most of what I want from each day. I'm never really squeezing out what is the most important to me and makes me feel the best, and in turn makes you feel the best so that you can be the best back to other people. I just struggled with that cycle for years and years and years, and just like Chad, I tried to go to college, you know, different times, trying to do philosophy and business and thinking of pursuing a law degree, all these different things, because in my mind I was like, I just need a way to make a lot of money so that I can, in essence, buy time, so that I, you know, have so much money that I can buy more of those trips and I can go on more hiking things and I have more time to do yoga in the morning because I don't have to rush out the door. I just wanted more time to do the things that I love.
Felt like the bus just went through probably the hardest push I've ever put it through to get here. So we're gonna let it breathe for a few minutes and have lunch here before we push on.
Do you hear that sweet beep?
Up on top of the bus, end of our first day of travels, and I don't know, I had a lot of time when I was driving to get inside my own head and reflect on how I was feeling, and it was pretty awesome. Quite a few moments when I was driving that I would like crest a mountain or come out of a tunnel and there'd be a new view presented to me, and just I don't know, that overwhelming feeling of like just elation and gratitude, and just, this is my life. So I really hope we do it justice in this series.
So the spot that we're at is called Willow Springs. This is BLM land all the way around here. There are tons of camping spots. It's a dirt road, but it's a good dirt road. And then there are all these little offshoots that have like little personal camping that people are tent camping or RVs. And it is truly gorgeous. There's a view right over here that is of the back of the Rocky Mountains. And then the rest of Utah goes west that way.
Is that how you act like you're cooking?
I'm ready, babe.
Thanks for that, hon. I told her to stand there and act like she's cooking. Okay, you want to run us through the outdoor kitchen, babe?
Okay, so we have our pot with water. We brought our oven out here.
What's the oven hooked up to?
The oven is hooked up to our 15-pound propane tank.
Boom, brought that out too.
Which is right there.
Oh no, the shower bag's draining.
We have some vegan butter, which is delicious. We have some greens in here.
That's the most exciting part right here.
This is the most exciting part.
Good greens.
You got a good shot on that, babe?
Oh, those are some good looking greens.
Got some broth, got some green onions, got some asparagus and some spinach. And then this corn is like kind of at its point, so we need to do corn, and then we have an onion. We're gonna show you our DIY potato washer. It's just our shower bag, and Chad had the idea of washing our potatoes here. They're probably as clean as my hands are right now, so that's good. Excellent.
Well, they came out of it around.
That's how you get B12, baby. So how long are these gonna go in for?
All right, good morning. So today I'm going to take you guys through our morning routine. I always get up first, so I always feed the little monsters who are waiting for me right now. Are you waiting for me, little monster? Waiting so patiently.
Have I ever gotten up before you?
Yes. Have you ever gotten up before me? Mm-hmm. I don't think so, baby. Alright, so after I feed the cats, I start on coffee. Today we're going to do it a little different because it's actually much colder than we thought it was going to be. So I'm actually going to start a fire. Just get a fire going today. Even though the whole wood stove's covered and stuff. So ever since the very first day in the bus, this has been our routine. Really, before that, ever since Zaynah and I first started dating, I would get up early in the morning and make some kind of fancy...
Usually I would clean the espresso maker, but I ran out of water.
We ran out of water last night, so... No, it's no clean espresso maker, but it's okay. It's easy to clean. I bring it to Zaynah to get her up, and then she makes me breakfast, so... I think we're just going to do cereal today, probably. So typically we'd always have these window covers covering every single window all the way around so that no light gets in or out, so that no one knows we're in here. But last night, you know, we're somewhere we're allowed to be, so it was really nice being able to sleep and wake up with the natural light coming in, and the cats really liked it, so that was cool.
How's it going? Oh no.
I'm kind of talking myself through this. It's very cold.
Is it chilly? Well, you look cute as a button.
Thank you.
Yeah, babe. Babe, show them the view. You gotta show them the view.
Okay. This is the view. We're at Donnelly Campground. It's a day use area, and then there are camping sites further down this road that we're on, which is UT 211. So we're gonna hike here a little bit, get some sweet shots for you guys, bring some PB&Js, and then hit the road to our forever home for the evening.
Our evening forever home.
Yep. First hike of the whole adventure. It's gorgeous. Chad's heart took us this path. There's one this way and that way. And since we're going to be camping down that way later, we're going to go check this site out for now.
Live zealously, people.
Live zealously. We are at this spot, our camping spot for the night. This is BLM Campground. You can be here for 14 days for free. When we were driving by, we just came across this little offshoot, and there's like a little weird door thing that kind of looks into the side of a rock. So we thought we'd walk up from our campsite and check it out. It's a little creepy.
It is a little creepy.
Kind of like weird vibes. Whoa.
That's crazy.
Water must go through there because that ground is like.
So I can get a hold on a little bit more.
Should we go inside this one?
Yeah, let's go check it out.
Shiplap, babe.
Shiplap. It looks not very inviting.
It looks ominous. Do it?
Yeah. This is the weird cave.
It's weird.
It's so weird. This is like right next to where we're camping. Out in the middle of nowhere, Utah. There's like this fire pit over here, like right next to the wood, which just, you know, it seems smart.
Unfortunately, there wasn't a state sign, otherwise I would have filmed it for you guys. But we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. We haven't been through a big town in a really long time, pretty much since we left Moab, and Moab's not that big. The road that we're on right now is not super great. Chad is pretty stressed out right now just from kind of the tension of having to be holding the steering wheel so firmly. So I'm gonna have to give him a nice thorough massage when we get to wherever we're gonna park tonight. And yeah, it looks like we're about 3 hours away from the Grand Canyon, so that's really awesome. I think we're gonna pull off in like 30 minutes to an hour to let the bus engine take a break and let Chad take a break, maybe have a little snack, and maybe have a little soul chat from him, because my version of this ride is very, very, very different from his version. His is a lot worse. So we'll see how he's been feeling for the past couple hours. You look terrified.
No, it's just a really bumpy highway. We thought we'd make better time, but the highway is really, really bad out here. And so I had to go like 35 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone. And everything felt like it was rattling apart. That's all right. I hear there's a huge canyon out here somewhere we're gonna run into.
Now officially Kelly bound.
Our bus got stuck in the sand.
We're super stuck in the sand right now. So we're gonna try and dig it out a little bit. I was just about to start it again. And Zaynah was like, let's film this. So.
We're just gonna spend the day digging ourselves out. I think we can totally do it. We're only like 3 feet from where the harder sand is. We're kicking ourselves for coming this far, but hey, it's an adventure.
Hey, feeling babe?
Great beat.
We've just been digging.
Workout.
Got under each tire dug out, little trench there. Boards under every one. So hopefully, we got her warming up now. Hopefully we get out of here. We're ready to move on. So Zaynah's gonna go out and try and direct me, and I'm gonna go for it.
And we're not gonna do this again. Lesson learned. Okay.
Alright.
So you need to turn the wheel that way. Yes, 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 yes. Good. Stop. All right, hold up. First of all, we are out, we are unstuck, we are on the main road. We literally just met what, he says he's a scientist, but he felt like an angel coming down from heaven to us.
A bus life guru. I've never felt more humbled in my life.
He lives in a bus, has been traveling since 1969, lives in a 30-foot long bus with his cat, Scratch, I believe, right now, and just had a, what was that called? A BMW Touareg?
Volkswagen Touareg.
That literally just pulled us out when
Just owned the bus.
all of these huge trucks came by and said that they couldn't do it.
So we had a Tacoma V8s, now these like Dodge massive Hemis, they're like, we can't do it. And this guy has a Touareg. And he's like, oh yeah, I got a Touareg, of course I can.
Views that we are seeing right now are like what I think of when I think of California. Holy crap, this place is so pretty. I love this man more than anything else in this world. From the beach, and we're going to head to some BLM land that is 80 miles from here. Yeah, we didn't really get a very good night's sleep last night because we wanted to park close to the beach, but so we had to park on a really noisy road, and we want to be somewhere peaceful and that we know we won't be ticketed or disturbed.
Just let you know when we get there.
Lately I've really been humoring the sort of notion that 12-year-old Chad would be really happy with 32-year-old Chad. And that's just been a really fun thing for me to kind of toss around in my head, and that's got me thinking about something that one of my other friends brought up, and that was personal responsibility. You know, some people think that this is an irresponsible lifestyle. I just wanted to explain why it's not, and why I believe that this is the most responsible thing you could ever do. And I thought about a metaphor while I was driving over here, babe.
Oh yeah?
It's like this. It's like this.
Well, let's hear it.
Alright, when you're a kid, when you're young, and you create your dream, we create what you want to be with yourself, that's really the most like pure form of a dream. Like, I wanted to be a traveling photographer and work for like a travel magazine and go all over the world. Basically, you create this dream. And it's a tangible thing, and it exists because it defines who you are until a certain age. And then all of a sudden the world starts chipping away at your dream more and more. And then all you're kind of left with is just this pile of sand in your hand that could easily be blown away just by the lightest breeze, and then your dream's completely gone. And now you're living your life for someone else, not doing what you want to do. Days are slipping by, years are slipping by, and that to me is the definition of personal irresponsibility. And personal responsibility is to cultivate that dream, to make it bigger and to make it real until that dream is your entire life. And that, I believe, is truly the definition for me of what it means to be personally responsible.
Where are we going, Taff?
Happy.
We woke up in,
we've been describing it to ourselves all day as just absolute paradise. It's in the middle of in wine country in California, just rolling hills. There's a vineyard behind us. I mean, honestly, rolling hills as far as the eye can see, and just layers of
different depth and color and shades of green into blues into the sky. It's really, really pretty.
It really is. It's very breathtaking. Not only that, but just like the sounds out here. I mean, we were looking for somewhere quiet where like we wouldn't be disturbed, and we got out here and it was amazing. The sounds of nature out here, the crickets and the birds and all that, is just, it feels like Garden of Eden. It's ridiculous. We just been in this spot today. We wanted to take advantage of being in this beautiful location. We kind of retired and moving around, so we wanted to hunker down today.
And the cats like it. They like to be able to kind of have a spot where they can chill out for a day or two, and not have to travel every single day. So it's a nice little break. But yeah, we're really enjoying it. Every time we stay at any spot, we always go for a walk and kind of check out our surrounding area to just see the area and see what kind of life lives there.
And you know, there's always these big vast views that we see, but I think there's definitely a lot to be said for just looking for the little tiny things that are beautiful. You know, that ladybug, for example, that whole image walking out there and just spotting that was awesome. And then that took me to this metal trough that I heard this scurrying in, and I looked inside and there were these little lizards. And then I looked to the right of that and there was a fence, and I saw that there were like probably a dozen lizards of varying size just sunbathing on the fence. So I stayed out there for quite a while. I don't know what you were doing in here, but I was out there just filming all the little things around me out here. It was really, really cool. I don't know, it just gives you a whole new respect. But the one kind of crappy thing I noticed was as I was filming, I kept zooming around and would see like a beer can or a plastic bottle, just some garbage.
Yeah, there's a good deal of garbage at this spot, which is unfortunate because the views here are breathtaking. This isn't, unique to this spot. A lot of the BLM spots, well, not all of them. Some of the BLM spots have had trash at them, but just campsites over the past 9 months have had trash in them. And, when we were looking on freecampsites.net for places to come on this area of the coast, so many of the places along the coastal highway are now illegal to camp in because people have just really abused the space. And, the locals and the local sheriffs and police have...
Places will hire like security services.
Yeah.
We get kicked out of a Walmart by a security service that they hired.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate because these are places, campsites that we would love to go to and experience in the bus that we no longer can. So it just kind of got us thinking about those of you that are watching this channel that either already live in a bus, so kind of this issue, and also those of you that are interested in coming into the lifestyle and are trying to learn about it through us.
Someone going to some BLM land behind us.
Yep.
Oh, they stop? Move along, sir. Thank you, sir.
What was I saying?
Oh no.
Yeah, we want to encourage you guys that watch this channel to really take care of the spots that you visit when you're on the road. We want to ensure that places like this are available to you guys in 6 months or a year from now in your own conversion to come visit. That they aren't, littered with trash so the locals have cut it off from people to stay at.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and unfortunately, it's to the point where I think we have to go beyond just picking up our own trash and making sure we're accountable for ourselves. I think it's to the point where if we can get 1 in every 10 people to pick up the trash around the site,
yeah, then
it'll make up for everyone else and we'll be able to continue on. And I know it sucks picking up other people's garbage, but the fact of the matter is there are ignorant people in this world, and most of them aren't watching these videos, and most of them aren't considering their environment, and they just throw trash around, and it ruins it for the rest of us. But we can do our part to kind of show that we care way more about being able to park at a spot like this than we do about going out of the way to pick up a few cans or a few bottles on the side of wherever we're parked.
Hey, baby. How's it going?
Love traffic in the bus.
Yep.
Roads overgrown. It's beautiful.
We got a harness for this little ladybird. We actually have had it for a while, but we just started using it. So now, Crazy Nation, she's purring because she knows that the harness means she gets to go outside. So now anytime we pull it out, she knows and she's good to go. And she's much better on this thing than she is like a wild, wily beast. We're debating whether we should cross this.
I don't know. I have jeans on. How deep do you?
You gotta go on the side. A little bit side action. You know what I'm saying, boo?
You're killing it. All right. I can do that. Yep.
This path got real jungly real quick, and it kind of just leads down here. So I think we're gonna go back and just look at the beach and maybe give it a final farewell. We might not be seeing it for a little while. Love ya, Pacific Coast. We just woke up this morning right outside of San Francisco. Absolutely gorgeous view here. Chad woke up at 5:30 this morning because one of our cats was scooting her food bowl along the floor and took some awesome shots.
It's about 5 in the morning and I'm walking across the Golden Gate Bridge right now because I want to get some pictures.
We'll have to put all those shots in right
weird.
now.
I just woke up, I couldn't go back to sleep, and I kind of just felt a voice inside of me say, hey, you wanted to take these long exposure shots of the bridge.
Go do it.
Go do it. So I did do it.
It was gorgeous.
See people. This is that exclusive content you can only get from livingZEAL. That's a cat in a bag.
So we just saw our friend Spencer and it was so nice. He lives here in San Francisco and he gave us an awesome suggestion of a place to go hiking called Land's End Labyrinth. It's just like multiple different trailheads, and obviously you guys know we're big hikers. We haven't been able to hike much on this whole trip, so we're gonna go over there, check that spot out, see what kind of awesome trees and beautiful beauty spots we see. Did you get a little bit of tea?
A little bit of tea. Sometimes I just stop walking and she has no idea I'm gone.
How's it going, baby?
It's going good.
Yeah?
It's pretty chilly.
Is it chilly?
Kind of, yeah.
Is the water chilly or you are?
The water is warm. I'm a little chilly.
If you have any leftover water, you know where I'm at.
Oh, there's
Ow!
a cat on your back, baby.
Ow!
That looks painful.
It is painful. While Chad is taking a shower, I'm gonna just walk right over across the street here and do a little bit of yoga. It's really nice out, so I'm tempted to go on a run, but my legs are really flirty from the last run that I did a couple days ago. So I think I'm just gonna take it easy, stretch it out, and see what kind of views are over here. Forget all the complaints of the weather. Look at this view, and it's not a real complaint. It's absolutely gorgeous here. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Is there a better place you could possibly think of to do yoga? I do not think so.
Kind of making sure that we don't slip into the hour time difference in California from Colorado, and I think it might be driving Zaynah a little nuts because I'm getting up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock every day California time, so that when we get back to Colorado we're not sleeping until like 8 or 9. But good news is though, every day we get to see the sunrise. I'm gonna take you guys outside right now. This is the view that we get to wake up to. San Francisco. And of course Golden Gate Bridge. And then the bus. Not bad. Cool, other RVs here. This is the spot to be. You can park here for free for a night. Why wouldn't you, right?
So we're just driving away from San Francisco, north, on, what is this place? The Pacific Highway?
Yeah,
Panoramic Highway. And it just started getting gnarlier and gnarlier, and then warning signs for curvy road, and then like no vehicles over 30 feet, and then there were some really just treacherous turns, and so we decided to pull it over and not go any further. We're about 1.5 miles from the actual Muir Woods. If we're butchering that, politely tell us in the comments, please. And then, so we're just gonna bike in. So we just parked the bus on the side of the road here at like a pull off, and we're gonna unstrap the bikes and hit it down this treacherous, dangerous road.
1.5 miles?
1.5 miles. Wish us luck.
But when I have cars coming up on my back, and like I know
Tons of blind turns.
they're cars. I don't want to be a lone duckling.
It's an incredibly steep road with incredibly blind turns and absolutely no shoulder. We rode down about a good mile and pulled off on the shoulder. See how many cars there are? It's unbelievable.
But there's like, there are bike signs, and we saw cyclists, so I assumed that there was a bike path. There was like a little trailing off on the map that we looked at that looked like a trail. But
I'm just glad we didn't try to bring the bus down here, because getting it back up these hills and these turns, I'm already gonna have a hard enough time where it is right now.
we always look for confirmation with things, and I asked Dad if like another car comes by and offers to take us down, maybe that'll be a sign, otherwise we should turn around, and that's exactly what you said as well. And then like 2 cars later, a sheriff pulled up and was like, if you're not a trained cyclist, it gets steeper and worse down there, I wouldn't go down. So that was confirmation to turn around. We didn't have to feel like questioning about it.
Yep. Truly epic road. I mean, it goes from right there to down here within the matter of 1 turn, and I mean that's this road in a nutshell. We are literally like 5 feet from where we were standing when we just recorded last.
We were gonna go a mile up this, walking our bikes up, and then we found
right in the middle of nowhere this beautiful path that has a stream running through it, a brook. I mean, it's just looks like an awesome hiking path. So this is going to be our adventure today.
we are provided for.
Yes, we are.
you guys know where we are right now. We're in the middle of the woods somewhere, I don't know, question mark, in the middle of Oregon. Dina?
The way I take care of the kids, I think concerns... Oh, where'd Tabby go?
Exactly.
Huh. I think I've just lost both the cats, baby.
You did! Go find Tabby. Baby, look at her, look at her, look at her.
Oh, there she goes. Okay. Yep, that's what she does. That's her trick. And then she dismounts. You wanna do another one? That's a stump. She's presenting herself like an offering to a nearby large bird. Tabby, your ignorance is just so charming.
And it's a beautiful spot, but we didn't expect it to be as cold as it is.
Yeah.
That was a huge... Well, actually, it wasn't that much of a bummer because looking for an opportunity to use the wood stove past winter, like when it's dead in the winter, when it's in the dead of winter, you don't really want to use the wood stove because I used it like all day, every day. I probably lit like 300 fires in this stinking thing.
Yeah.
But having not used it in like a month, it was kind of
really
nice.
a sweet treat.
It was
Yeah,
kind of nice. The first thing I
took us
had to do was cut the wood.
So my love here is preparing our firewood for the night. Dusty. You got the fire started that quickly?
Yeah, babe.
When you used to first start making our fires, it would take like...
I would get so frustrated, especially if I didn't have any fire starters.
It would take forever. But now, that took you like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's going. Alright, and I'm gonna make some tea before we go to bed. So there's one creature on the bus who likes the wood stove more than we do.
It's true.
I'll give you one hint.
She is always sitting right.
She burns
by the
her
wood
tail
stove.
all winter. She's burnt her little eye whiskers off because she hangs out like right off the ledge.
You're gonna concern people just a little bit, not like cray burnt off.
No, just a little bit.
I could just see
Just a
people being
little
like,
bit.
"Can you let your cat?"
Just a little bit.
Oh my gosh, Tabby, how cute are you?
Play with fire. Gonna get burned.
We've been wanting to write our vows for weeks and weeks. Our wedding is in 3 weeks, and we've been wanting to wait until we were like out in the middle of nature. We could hang our hammocks, have a little pen and paper, and just kind of glance over at each other over our hammocks, but kind of have a little separation to get into our own heads about what we want to say to each other. So we're going to share a little bit of that with you guys.
I don't know if you guys understand. Well, I know you don't understand because I've never told you how much Zaynah's kind of saved my life. I used to smoke cigarettes, and I smoked cigarettes for 15 years. And she never ever told me, when we first met, she never told me to stop smoking. But I knew that it'd become an issue, and really the main reason that I stopped was because she became something to live for. She gave my life new purpose. I'm just gonna eat my apple.
I had to ask Chad to go back inside while I filmed this little bit because I kind of wanted a little bit more quiet, alone time to get into the right headspace for writing my vows. I really love writing, and I feel very connected to written words, and I was just mulling over the right vocabulary to even begin to express what this man means to me and what the prospect of spending the rest of my life with him, what that feels like. And it's not just joy and excitement and complete elation at the thought that for the rest of my life I'm gonna wake up with this man beside me. None of those words seem to quite put it into perspective. Oh man, that's all it took to get me crying.
Yeah, we're ready for a little artist corner with Chad.
Artist corner, and you're sitting
Artist
in a corner.
I feel like I need a beret. So we just got to Twin Falls, and I walked down to take some pictures, and I wanted to get some long exposure pictures, which means you set the camera on a tripod and you close the shutter as much as possible, and you try and take the longest exposure so the water looks like it's like moving. It has that movement to it. But it was too bright out, and we can't really wait till the sun goes down because we're trying to find a place to park for the evening. So I started getting desperate. I put my polarizer on the lens to try to make it darker. It didn't work, so then I thought about sunglasses. So then I started holding the sunglasses in front of the camera and taking pictures. And I took this one picture that was in the right lens, the waterfall, and then in the left lens was the overlook with some people standing on it and some mist. And then everything else in the image is totally blown out and white. And I got shivers when I looked at it. It just came out so perfect. I love that image. So then I went down and started taking some images of Zaynah standing there, and then I got some closer shots with the same sort of technique, using Zaynah's polarized sunglasses as my filter to shoot through. And then I did some video, and I just think the video turned out so cool, and I had to share it with you guys because I don't know, this is what's really cool and fun about being an artist, and I guess a photographer in general, and it's just messing with different media and seeing the cool results you can get. And I just love this little series, I guess, that I did at this waterfall.
I gotta say, it was pretty cute seeing you get so giddy and excited out there doing what you love. I loved it.
Thanks, baby.
This road is bad, so I don't like that. But it's okay.
It's pretty at least.
How long do you think I've been driving?
Probably like an hour.
Cool.
Love you.
Love you.
So that morning we woke up and just drove straight from Wyoming.
2 big days of driving. Actually, a lot of this trip I haven't driven it at all, but I have been driving for the past couple days because the roads that we've been driving on have been really smooth and they haven't been too much mountain driving. So it's been a lot easier. And then Chad's been in the back editing videos. We kind of worked out a cool system.
Yeah, plus we can actually cover a lot more distance by her driving for like 1 or 2 hours, and then I'll put in my like 4 hours so that I don't burn out and we can actually make this farther trek home. So anyway, we just got home, back to Fort Collins. We pulled straight into Zaynah's mom's neighborhood. We're actually not allowed to go into her mom's neighborhood.
You guys don't know about that. It's from way back videos ago. Just to give you a really quick synopsis.
We'll put a card right there.
Yeah, it's just a private neighborhood, and they were not allowed to have recreational vehicles of any sort inside their neighborhood. So that's what that's about.
So instead of going into the neighborhood, we just pull up on this public road outside the neighborhood. And it's by a construction site. We didn't park by any houses. We parked next to this one house, but there's no windows on the side that we parked on, so I didn't think it'd be a problem. They'd have to come out of their house and walk around the side just to see the bus.
Yeah, it's like basically my mom's neighborhood and this other neighborhood, and then there's one long, that's all public, owned by the city of Fort Collins, but there's one long road that like will take you into the offshoots for all of the like cul-de-sacs and stuff, so we park on the very main road, so that's to not like go into near anyone's houses.
So we tried to be as considerate as possible, and I was taking the clothes out of the bus because we were going to go do some laundry, and I'm very reluctant to call him a gentleman.
Cantankerous old man.
Cantankerous old man approached me and said, quote, "Why are you parking this piece of shit outside of my house?" So Zaynah and I both turned to him and at the same time said, "Excuse me?" And he said, "Don't excuse me. You guys are living in this POS and you're parking it on my street and we don't want to have to see it." And then proceeds to go on and on about
telling us he's offended to have to look at the bus.
So my reply immediately was, "Sir, this is a public road. We're allowed to be parked here according to the city of Fort Collins. You know, we're allowed to be here." So
48 hours, yeah.
So we, after a few heated words, we cussed out Zaynah, and
that was sweet.
Yeah, it was sweet. And so I flipped the bus around. I went on the other side of the street.
It's a huge, like, wide road.
Where there was no houses at all. I didn't think it'd be a problem being parked by his house because there was no windows anyway, but apparently he did see the bus and had a problem. So I went over and moved to the other side of the street,
And
he's on the phone, so we move it over, and then we both get out of the car to walk back over to my mom's house, which is just like a block and a half from here. And he's like, I'm calling the cops, and is like dialing to call the police.
we would always rather not get the law involved. We'd always try to take the passive approach and just talk to people. So we went back to Zaynah's, mom's house for the first time and took a shower. And I guess in the shower we both had time to think, and Zaynah decided to walk over there without me because I got a little heated. And
I mean, it's not as heated as the guy.
not as heated as him, but I mean, he was cussing out my fiance. So yeah, I threw a few words at him, a few fingers.
So I decided to walk over there myself to just kind of try to diffuse the situation, and I decided to record a little bit of audio of the conversation so I could show Chad later kind of what the dialogue back and forth was. So we're going to play a little bit of that audio right here so you can get a little taste of the type of individual this man was.
Live your hippie life, not next to my house.
I understand you said there's no windows on that side, but you know what?
I didn't say that.
It is. Well, your boyfriend did. And, there aren't. But you know what? Look how nice it is. I'm going to be outside all weekend in the yard, working the yard.
Looking at that
I
piece
don't
of shit.
look at it.
Okay, and I understand. I mean, to me, obviously I have a different opinion because I live in it, so what is a piece of shit to you is not a piece of shit to me. We can understand that. That's obviously very offensive to me.
That's too
But
bad. That's very
okay.
offensive to me.
I
For you to pull
understand.
that bus next to my property and out there when I'm in my yard is offensive to me. So there.
The thing that we were planning on doing when we got here is, and we've already talked to the construction people, we've talked to the foreman over there about parking in like the very corner lot for the small periods of time we visit my mom, who is in a wheelchair, who
Go for it.
every
You know,
single time I
You know what?
come.
My
You know,
parents
wait,
are
no, let
very-
me.
no,
She just got me on
just
that.
second.
She got me
my
on that.
parents are very ill
That's
and
bullshit.
need a lot of assistance.
She's bullshit.
And help them.
You're
I
not the
understand.
first one.
So
Okay,
I don't-
now
I
you
don't wanna
listen
know
to me.
about the-
You
No,
listen to
that's-
me.
it's
You're
what
not the
I'm
first
saying
one
is
we've
that
called.
that's
Everybody
not
thinks
what
this is a parking lot
Okay, you're
out here.
misinterpreting what I
No,
said.
you're not the first one to tell me my mom is sick. Well, woe
You're
is me.
misinterpreting
Don't
what I am
even
saying,
say that
sir.
to
So
me.
let me re-explain myself.
Okay.
The
I'd
reason
like to
I'm
hear.
saying
I'd
that
like to hear.
is because she cannot drive and she cannot come to
Got
where I
nothing to do
normally
with
park.
your bus, so.
I have to come in my vehicle to see her. That is the perspective. This has nothing to do with my mom's physical well-being in
Yeah,
any other manner
I don't care.
other than
Got
I
nothing to do with
cannot
you
see
parking that
her
bus out there.
unless I come here. That's my vehicle. With
You're this
it-
peace, love, dope person,
No,
and you
it
want to
is not
ruin
that
my
I'm okay
house.
with it. Believe me, I don't want to ruin your house. I don't want to ruin your
Well, then
house.
move it.
I'm here. I moved it away from the side of your street
Move
to
it
where
from our
you
neighborhood.
But we're going to be outside all weekend and we're going to look at it
Right.
all
So
weekend. And it's
I understand that. I understand that.
It's
I understand that. That is.
unsightly.
I
We're paying
understand.
a lot of money to live here.
I
It's
understand.
Not so,
Not a parking lot.
like yours is a bus, whatever. It was like a bus, and they've had all these
It was
vehicles.
yellow, they
always
painted it
park
white.
them.
We've seen the whole.
And we're tired of it. It's not just you. It's
No,
like
I
we're sick
understand.
of it.
Sick
We're
of it.
sick of it because you're
I'm
not the
offended
first
by it.
person. It's been going on for 10
Come here
years.
and knock on my
We've
door.
been here 10. We've been here 10 years, and it's been going on for 10 years, and we're sick of it. So you can understand our frustration. We paid a lot of money to live in this. It's like, why? We pay a lot of money to live here.
Offends me.
Here's
And
what I
it's-
want
it's-
you to understand. I have no intention to offend you. It doesn't give me any pleasure. I'm kind of shaking and on the verge of
The way you
tears.
want- Go park it. The cops are coming. So if
The
they're gonna
cops
call
can
me,
absolutely come.
When they
I was-
call, I'm going to tell them you were here.
That's
gonna tell them you
fine.
came
I'm
and I
not.
just
I'm
wanted
not.
to
I'm
know.
not breaking the law. I'm not doing anything
You're on my
hurtful.
property right now.
Okay.
You
Well,
are on my property.
You're asking me to
giving
leave
me
your property, then I'll leave.
I'm telling you to move the bus. Move it out there. That's fine.
I am
Our
saying-
neighborhood doesn't want your bus.
Okay.
Because it offends us.
Yeah.
So Zaynah came back, and
I'm very sensitive, so I didn't like tear up or anything there, but I like came back to the bus and was all teary because he was like an old man being like
I'm sure
really
it was very
aggressive.
threatening. I mean, he was like, she was trying to describe it to me, and he was like pushing his wife's arm out of the window and like pushing her a door and like pushing her out of the way.
To like talk to me, and his wife is much calmer about the whole situation, but we just wanted to figure out, you know, is there on this huge wide public road, and obviously I didn't have to do this, but I wanted to be considerate. On this huge wide public road, is there somewhere else I can park my bus that's less offensive for you? Because apparently the sight of our bus is very, very, very offensive. He literally said that the bus is offensive to him. And the funny part about all of this is there is a huge construction site being built right behind his house. He doesn't have a fence or anything. So his entire backyard is looking onto like 10 trucks, 10 tractors, like a crane, big mounds
Clearly
of
why
dirt.
he's so upset.
Because he can't do anything about that view, but he can, I guess, come over to us and be
Taking
irate.
out on a couple young kids living in a bus.
Yeah, so
Anyway, we went back to the bus a little later to move it to the construction site to be far away from his house. And when we arrived at the bus, we found tow notice, which is not unusual.
where is that?
But we also found, which is really just like move your vehicle within 48 hours.
And then we also got, normally we get these, so this is no big deal. This
We
is
have a
like
collection.
what they do every time the police come and people don't want a car there. They put the tow notice, as long as you're moved within 48 hours, it's no problem. That's fine. We also got a ticket, and I wonder if it's from the police officer who lives in the neighborhood. He just wrote in his own. He just kind of made one up down here for us. And that violation
The code is
says-
for unlawful occupancy of a vehicle.
at nighttime. You're not allowed to in the county of Fort Collins. You're not allowed to sleep in your vehicle at night, which we already know. You're allowed to park your vehicle on public roads for up to 48 hours, though. So he just wrote in parked living in vehicle $150 in this open area. Has his officer number and then just says, I can't even read this. This
The
says.
thing is with that though, that blows us away. Is we could understand getting this ticket if we were living in if lights were on and it was 11 o'clock at night. But this is at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
And we can't really still
even
understand
in
that,
the
but
bus.
per the law, we understand it.
We weren't even in the bus at all. So he gave us a ticket for being in the bus, even though we weren't in the bus.
And this was-
that's kind of like the same as walking up to an RV on the side of the road and just ticketing it for being there and assuming that people are living in it. So what we're thinking is that Mr. Contanker was standing there just screaming at the cop to give us a ticket because we told him that we'd never actually gotten ticketed. We get tow notices. And I'm sure that really...
Pissed him off.
Yeah. Just the way he started the conversation with, why are you parking this POS here? It was just like, oh man.
Just like you're just...
Come on, if you just come to us and say, hey guys, like we just don't like your bus being here, we don't like the eyesore. If you at least present an argument that's not right off the bat just vulgar and obnoxious, then we might have heard you out. But like now it's just gotten to this point where we're just disgusted with people like this.
Today's a new day, onwards and upwards, and we're not going to be around people like that anymore. There's no need.
Yep. So we're going to move on from that. We found a fantastic place to park while we are doing our wedding stuff.
For any of you guys that have dealt with this, we just want to support and encourage you. We are all a community here to deal with this kind of stuff together. Eventually the laws are going to change, hopefully, to be able to make bus life and van life more accessible, considering it is much more environmentally friendly. But for now,
So we just woke up, and as you can hear, maybe,
it's like a tin roof.
it's been raining all day, all night.
All yesterday.
All yesterday. That's so gross.
It's cold and rainy. And just drive careful out there. If you're heading up to the mountains, they have snowplows out on I-70. And they're getting a lot of snow up there. So be aware of that. And this will all move out tonight, and the weekend looks good.
I think it's gonna be gone by the time.
So babe, how's driving a car versus driving a big SKOOLIE conversion?
Oh my gosh, man. It's so crazy, honestly, because I'll get to like 45 miles an hour so fast, and it's so smooth, and it feels like fake driving. It's so hard to describe. If you drive a big vehicle and then you go back to driving a little tiny car, it's kind of like go-karting or something.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, going over these big bumps, which we're about to go over like a railroad track, in the bus you'd have to like
Oh my gosh, stop. Yeah, 5 miles an hour, you're breaking everything you own.
Yeah.
But in the car, it's like,
You can go
oh,
45.
yeah,
It's a little
exactly.
little hop and a jump.
It's crazy. It feels so weird driving a car after just driving a bus for months and months.
We're grateful. Thanks again, Mom and Steve.
Thank you. Those of you who've been watching our channel for a little while know why I haven't cut this mop off my head. And it's because I was waiting for us to get to 1 million views. I guess I optimistically, unrealistically, hoped that it would happen before our wedding. And we're at about 500,000 views right now. So I had a conversation with myself, and I decided that I don't want to look back on my wedding and regret not cutting my hair. So first thing we're gonna do, through the power of quick editing, is cut this mop off my head. Okay, it's that easy. So now we're gonna head to Ross.
All right, we're here at Ross, and it took me about 15 minutes to get everything I needed. White shirt, bow tie, suspenders. I already have the pants, gonna get a vest. But the ladies, still in there. And I have a feeling they're gonna be in there for a while. So I came to the car. Plus I'm not supposed to see the dress before the wedding anyway, right? Just be waiting out here for them. Spot. We both already know.
Long been.
And you were, I guess, kind of taken back because I was done with my vows so much sooner than you, but the fact is I started writing them the second week we were dating. And I've been thinking of them every day. So I really want you to think of these as promises that my heart is making to yours forever. I vow to stand beside you always, even in the absence of reason. You will never be alone again. It's gonna be hard. I vow to provide, to protect, and to pamper you as long as we both share the same air. I vow to make you coffee every morning and dessert every night, in a constant effort to make love a verb in our household. This one's my favorite.
The last one is really good too.
I vow to make you laugh at every opportunity I get in a futile effort to make you as happy as you make me. I vow to always put you first, far ahead of myself, and only a step ahead of our children.
When I came into a restaurant that actually ended up being
All right.
And that's why we did that just in front of you guys.
Let's go get married.
So now we're gonna have a
Now you
drink
guys come
ceremony.
up with that.
Now we're gonna make round of applause.